Hello there, friends and family. Welcome again to Nanaba's Kitchen. Today's video is a tutorial on how to prepare your own simple and quick homemade samosa wrappers or sheets, which you can also use as wrappers for your spring rolls or egg rolls. Now friends, in a few moments you'll be seeing on your screen here a list of the ingredients we use. So I encourage you to grab your pencil or pen and your notepad because you'll need to write some notes down. And you're in good shape if you did not skip your geometry class. So here are the ingredients listed right there on your screen. First, we need 4 cups of flour, and this is all-purpose flour. Now this is an extra half a cup of flour which we're going to set aside. We're not going to add that to the actual dough. We will use it to knead our dough and to form our sheets. Now this is half a teaspoon of salt that just went into the 4 cups of flour. Just 2 dry ingredients is what we need here. Mix them together. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil. All right, now use any oil of your choice, but you don't really need any fancy kind of oil here. This is vegetable oil and it works perfectly. So once the oil goes in, you're now going to add water at room temperature. Now I use 2 cups of water, and it's always best practice to add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients in bits, not all at once. Okay, it just helps to form the dough a lot easier, and it also helps to remove that oops, I added too much of this or that ingredient out of the equation. Now depending on how you measure your ingredients, you might not even need 2 whole cups of water. You might need slightly shy of. So keep that in mind. It's always good to add your wet ingredients in small amounts. So you're going to now knead your dough for about 3 minutes just to smoothen it out. Now once you knead your dough, it becomes really tight. That's one thing that happens when you're using flour that has gluten in it. It becomes tight, but no worry, because you're going to need to let the dough rest so that tightness loosens up and it's a lot easier to work with at that point. So you're going to put a little more grease into your pan or your mixing bowl, and then put your dough into it and coat the dough with the oil and cover it with a damp kitchen cloth and let it sit for 20 minutes, and that will help the dough to relax. And let's see what I mean here. When you stretch it out, it doesn't bounce back. Your dough is ready to roll out in section. So we're going to form a log, okay? And so what we're doing is the spread out dough, we're just going to move it all into one roll of dough, just as I am doing. All right, you want to tack and push, and then roll it out. You should be able to yield 16 small pieces of dough from the entire rolled out dough. So attempt to do that. And if you end up with 15, that's no problem. But you want at least 15, okay? Now you're going to take each small section dough and form them into little spherical shapes, and then set those aside too. Just like so. You do it for all of the section dough, and now sprinkle some flour onto your clean working surface and roll out each dough into a circle. Don't roll it out too thin yet at this point. And the next step, friends, is to smear some oil and be generous with your oil. You even want some of that oil to drip alongside the circumference of the rolled out dough and sprinkle a little bit of flour. This is what's going to ensure that our rolled out dough eventually, when it's warmed through, does not stick to each other, and peeling is a lot easier. So you're going to repeat the same process for all of the rest of the sectioned dough. And the goal is to end up with at least 5 layers per layered dough, just like that. So I have 3 here, I need 2 more. Now the key is to make sure that the final layer does not get oiled or floured, just like that. So we're done with this one. We're moving on to forming another layer. So I have 5 here. I'm going to form another one that's 5 layers. And my last one will end up being 6 because remember, I sectioned my dough into 16 pieces of dough. So again, make sure that your last rolled out dough does not get oiled or floured. Now you're going to use your damp kitchen towel to cover the other dough that you're not working with because you don't want them to dry out. So here is a very important step. Flour your surface some more and make sure you're generous with the flour. And you're going to now roll out your dough, and you want to end up with about 1/5 of an inch thickness. Okay, now what I'm attempting to do here is to get a circle. Okay, all right, so I'm going to do one circle. It's done. Place it on your sheet pan, and then I'm going to do another one. And that one, I'm actually going to roll it out and attempt to get a rectangular shape, as you can see me doing here. And when you're rolling out your dough to get that 1/5 of an inch thickness, make sure that you're flouring the dough and the surface because you don't want them to stick. There you have it. That one also goes on a sheet pan. And by this time, you should be preheating your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to place both of the rolled out dough into the oven. And you're just going to warm them through. You're not going to bake them for only 5 minutes. And friends, in the absence of an oven, you can always use a griddle. I happen to have a griddle on my stove, so I use that. Now, if you don't have a griddle on your stove as I do, you can use a frying pan, and you're going to warm it through on your griddle or frying pan for only 4 minutes and see how it peels beautifully. This is the circular one that went into the oven. And it's like I said, it stayed in there for only 5 minutes. Anything exceeding 5 minutes is going to cook your dough and you're not going to end up with good results. So peeling should be this easy. Now keep in mind, friends, I tried this multiple times and I failed a few times. So if you tried the first time and you failed, just try again. Don't even beat yourself up about it. Yes, friends, so your samosa or spring roll wrappers should peel off just like that. Very easily. They should not crack, and they should peel off and feel like soft, silky fabric. See? That's it. This is success, okay? Now, once you're done peeling them all off, you're going to relayer them, and then you're going to cut them into shape. Friends, as you can see, the first shape I'm going for is a circle, so I used a lid. And I cut the shape out, and this lid measures at its diameter 9 inches long. Once I cut the shape perfectly, I'm going to locate the center, the very center of this circle. So because it measures 9 inches, I'm going to measure from top to bottom and look for 4.5 inches in and mark that and do the same across, and that will find you the middle. And then you're going to cut them into 4 sections, and then you end up with this shape, the quartered circle shape. Okay, there you have it. So we are going to be using this shape to form samosa, one out of the 3 different ways I will be showing you in the next video. So please make sure you stay tuned. There you see, they look like paper, but they feel like fabric. This is the other one that went into the oven, the rectangular one. Okay, so you're going to peel them off just like that too, and relayer them in preparation for cutting out the next shape, which is going to be a long rectangular shape. And you see what I mean. Look at that. Just like silk fabric. That's the feel you want. Success! Now you're going to be needing the surfaces of your ruler once again. So after relayering them, we're going to cut into a perfect rectangular shape, measuring 7 inches by 10 inches. Which should give you a perfect rectangle in preparation for the next step, which is when we divide that perfect rectangle into 2 rectangles, which are now going to be measuring lengthwise 10 inches long, widthwise 3.5 inches. Okay, So now we have our perfect rectangle, which measures 7 by 10 inches. We're ready to divide that into 2 equal parts. And to do that, friends, we're going to be making our cut along the length of this rectangle, not the width, okay? So take your ruler and find 3.5 inches from one end of the width into the middle along the entire length of this rectangle, and that will be your middle. Mark with your knife and just cut along. And we're done with forming the next shape. I hope you're writing your notes, friends, and I sure hope you did not skip your geometry class like I said before. Look at that. Voila. This is our next and second shape for forming our samosas in the next video, so be sure to tune in and watch that too. Now, friends and family, this is what having fun, especially in that kitchen, feels like and looks like. Just take a look at that. Our third and final shape is a smaller circle that measures 5 inches at its diameter. So now you have a total of 3 different shapes to use to form your samosas. In the next video, we're going to be doing just that. So make sure you stay tuned. You have a couple of days to form your wrappers, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope this video was helpful and practical and useful. Just look at these beautiful samosas. I cannot wait to see you in the next video coming up in a couple of days. I thank you for watching. Make it a great day, friends, and have fun, especially in that kitchen.